Boom. The red light is on. What's up, guys? UFC 275 pay-per-view week. It's a little bit exciting. It's a little bit more juice on it. To my left, the cornerman, Ryan Quinn. Ryan, how you doing, brother?
Fantastic. How's everyone doing?
Doing good, doing good. By the way, Mr. Fight Parlay absolutely nailed it. Plus like 680, I believe. Just kills it. Underneath, the undefeated, unbeatable, unbreakable 5-0 Elle Wagman. Elle, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Doing good, doing good. Hey, I messaged Grant a couple days ago about Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's not sold on it, so come on, Grant. I gotta get him along. I thought episode 3 was good. I guess episode 4 is out. I gotta watch it after this.
I didn't watch episode 4 either.
All right, so we'll get into that. But guys, it's a pay-per-view week. Not even just a regular pay-per-view with Singapore. The whole card is stacked, but it's got the main event to me is just close and dear to my heart. I love it. It's just this new era versus the old era. Very, very cool. Weird line. The champions, the underdog. We'll get into that. Co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko, maybe the best female fighter on this planet. Amanda Nunes just lost. Rose Namajunas just lost. That really opens up the door for Valentina. Then the feature fight might be the fight that everyone wants to watch again. Zhang Wei Li versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I know Elle. We have a lot of maybe inside scoop on Joanna. So just a lot of stuff going on, guys. A stacked card. Stacked.
For sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, it's what we do. Best bet on the card. We'll start with Elle. Take it away. What's your absolute best bet on UFC UFC 275?
My best bet is definitely for Joanna and Wei Li to go the over. Okay. I don't see either of them finishing each other. I think that's going to be a banger, just like the first one. I'm sad we don't get 2 more rounds of it like last time, but it'll be a great fight.
It's so funny you say that, and maybe you know or maybe not. It's just a question. Do you know why they didn't do the 5 rounds? Because it's how crazy is it that 5 months ago in Arizona they had Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards. They did that 5 rounds featured bout. There's been a couple of them. Why did this one not go 5 rounds?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that fight should have been a 5-rounder.
Of course,
that was silly. But, I mean, obviously last time they thought it was for a belt, and now it's not. So It makes sense. This makes sense. The Leon Edwards-Nate Diaz fight never made sense to me, but...
Well played. Well played. All right, Ryan, what's your best bet UFC 275 pay-per-view?
I really like that one a lot.
It's a great one.
Especially because it's a 3-round fight. But I think it's I really like Valentina Shevchenko inside the distance. I know that she has finishing power and stuff like that. I just feel that she just does not get credit for the level of greatness that she is at. I mean, everyone knows that she's great, but she reminds me of when Frankie Edgar was coming up. Everyone knew that he was so damn good, but because there were so many other names out there, this is when Chael was making a run, Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre were still going, and Frankie was just kind of there, and then bam, now he's recognized as the second greatest fighter pound for pound in the world. I think that's the level that she's at, and I think this is her coming out party of dominance. I think that Taila Santos deserves to be there for winning 4 in a row, but I think that Valentina is just coming up to that level where she's going to finish her.
Very cool, very cool. I totally agree with both of it, so I love that's best bet. I talked to Jillian Robertson earlier today. The podcast will drop tomorrow. She fought against Santos, so it's like no one knows more than that. She had 15 minutes inside the octagon. She didn't get stopped by Santos. It was the first time Jillian got a real nasty cut on the nose, little inside elbow on the ground and pound. Jillian had a armbar that was really close, and she thought it was really close to being stopped. She's hoping Santos wins just as a little shakeup for the division, but just her gut and just kind of hearing the inside of it, she thinks there's no way Santos is beating Valentina Shevchenko. She just thinks Valentina is just on a totally another level, and Santos, who is good, 4 in a row, but even see the 4 in a row, I don't know. It's just I don't know. There's something there that it's it just feels like they needed a new 19-1 shiny record against Valentina, and the UFC smart, and they just made that happen. By the
end. You don't see a record like that in the women's divisions very often. So
yeah,
I'm excited for that fight. I agree with you. I don't know that there's any way she wins that fight, but I definitely think she's the toughest test. She's definitely going to be the person who has the best chance of beating Valentina at this point in the flyweight division.
Right. And I guess we're here with Valentina, so that let's kind of stay here. It's just a fun little conversation. If she wins, let's say she wins, she is a minus right now on DraftKings, minus 630, the by far biggest favorite on the card. If she wins, do we need to see her go 135, maybe a Pena or a Nunes, or I don't think there's any way of her going down and meeting a Joanna or Rose somewhere there. Or should she just stay at 125 and hopefully new contenders come? Because I don't see who's next. Like, I don't see another one.
They're coming. I think they're just young right now. Like,
right. I agree.
Fields, like those girls who are coming up who are
Casey O'Neill, Macy Barbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me of when I remember when like Anderson Silva kind of like recycled the division.
Yeah.
And they needed to do, you see this a lot. Like, you're seeing Marty Usman or Kamaru Usman's kind of going through this now too. Conor McGregor went through it. Went to boxing, but then you bump up for a super fight. Who did Anderson Silva fight? I forgot who he fought before. Not when he fought Forrest Griffin.
No.
He fought up to at 205 against somebody, and
he had a shark tattoo, a bad boy tattoo on the side of his chest.
James something. Yes.
James Urban.
And then it was he's bumping up in weight, and it headlined a fight night, and it was big. So you can see something like that happening while the division figures itself out.
It's crazy.
I wouldn't hate that.
Huh?
Oh, I said I wouldn't hate that.
Her versus Nunes at 135 or her versus Pena at 135. That's a whole other. That's another pay-per-view. I actually like Juliana Pena to kind of do it again. I'm just throwing that out there right now. Too far ahead. All right, let's go underdog. We're going too crazy. We're going sideways right now, guys. My fault as a host. What's your best underdog play? UFC 275.
Man, there's so many close fights on this card, and there's some really crazy odds. Like you said, the champ's an underdog, but man, I'm going to take my girl, Joanna. I'm going to take JJ for my underdog pick. I think that there's a lot of things in her favor for this matchup the second time around. First of all, I think the 3 rounds massively favors Joanna. If the last fight had been a 3-rounder, I don't think there was any doubt that she would have won that fight. I think the first 2 rounds, she looked great. And most of the damage, which is what I think eventually won Weili the decision, happened in those rounds 4 and 5. So I see that the 3 rounds I think are going to be really, really good for JJ. On top of that, I think Weili going to train with Henry Cejudo is going to encourage her to wrestle more in this fight, which I actually think is going to give her more problems. Joanna has the best takedown defense, man, in the division, hands down. And she does most of her damage on the way up when she defends those takedowns. If you watch her versus Jessica Andrade, one of my favorite fights, female fights of all time, that the damage that she does with the knees and elbows coming up from those takedown attempts is nasty. And I really think that she looks great. She's had the best weight cut up we've ever seen. She looks fantastic. I think she's going to get it done. And it's very rare you get to get plus money on Joanna.
Very rare. And by the way, the Fight Bananas editing team chopped that last minute and a half up. Like, the show's over. Like, Elle Wagman just gave us the goods right there. She just gave us best female fight ever. Joanna, Wade, wrestling. Come on. Like, I'm done. Ryan, I don't know how we can do any better than that. Amazing stuff, Elle Wagman. But Ryan, what's your best underdog play for UFC 275?
I'm sticking Homer. I'm going with Glover Teixeira to win.
Yeah.
Just looking back, I followed Jury's career, especially when he fought Mo back in Risen. When he lost to Mo, and even when he fought Mo the second time, Mo was wrestling, and then got Jury to run into a right hand. And I think that can happen somewhere here. I think that Glover has the best jiu-jitsu in the light heavyweight division. It didn't sound like Jury was really training in a lot of jiu-jitsu friendly spots. Plus Glover was training with Muay Thai expert for a few weeks, Alex Pereira. Similar body type to Jury. Glover's wrestling, people know now that it's really good. And as much as it worries me that he would run into like a spinning back fist or something like that, I think he could shoot underneath things, and I think he could submit him. Also, Jury hasn't gone the distance since 2016 now. And on top of that 15-minute fight was in Risen, which was a 10-minute round and a 5-minute round. Now, that's a different level of cardio. Like, in those 10-minute rounds, even though Japan, they're really pushed for the action, you really learn how to take your rest spots and chew clock in those. You can't do that in the 3-5s like you can now. And why is that relevant? Well, put it this way. I've gone the distance in an MMA fight more recently than he has. So I really think that this is I just really like the way Glover's going to shake things out here. I think that he's going to pull it out.
Gee whiz. What are we doing here, guys? Ryan, that was amazing content. You're so right. Let's just kind of say that out loud, guys. We just got Joanna Jędrzejczyk, first ballot Hall of Famer, maybe the greatest female strawweight in the history of the sport. And we just got Glover Teixeira, a Mount Rushmore type of UFC light heavyweight, both as underdogs. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is incredible. Like, if you think about it, that's why I love this card so much. Just that point alone, that Glover's a plus 170 underdog as the champion against, I've been watching the embeddeds and I watch the countdowns, and yeah, Yuri looks like this monster and he's very mysterious, and the destruction. I'm just throwing it. Both UFC fights, he got rocked and was like almost losing both fights to guys who, Dominic's on a losing streak, and Ozdemir is like one fight away from fighting for the Bellator light heavyweight championship. So it's like, come on, like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. I'm really on Glover on this fight.
I love it. I love that. And man, Dominic Reyes took Yuri down, and he's not even a grappler.
Yeah,
like, not at all.
You're telling me Glover can't take Yuri down? Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I saw John Anik talked about it on his podcast. That up kick really knocked out Yuri Prochazka. He kind of woke up on him. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, to me, and also, too, I don't have to tell you guys, like, matchups make fights. And I think Glover Teixeira with the wrestling and the grappling and the submission, like, that's one of those bets. I got to find it on DraftKings. I think Glover submits Yuri within round 1, 2 in that 7-9 minute thing. And Ryan, what you said about 25 minutes, he's never went that far. Like, Glover eats 25 minutes for breakfast, being the champion, like going for a title fight. Yuri's on the poster. Like, embedded even asked him, like, how you feeling? And he's like, tired, the media, all this stuff. It wears on people. And I just think Glover is he can be your best bet and underdog. I feel that.
About a month ago, I went for a trail run with Glover up in Connecticut. And to let you know that he's in shape, whenever he saw hills, and this is Connecticut, it's not down here, he was hitting it for sprints, and we were doing it for 35 minutes. And if he was doing that 4 weeks ago, I can only imagine what he's in now. And, actually, that was a great, because Glover is like Rocky. Like, we saw little kids on the trails. Come on, let's go. And kids, it was like Rocky too. These kids are like running with us and stuff like that. Glover's different, man. It was real cool.
I love it. You guys are absolutely killing it. All right, let's get into kind of like our bread and butter. This is like our fun little thing that Ryan Quinn absolutely nailed last week. 3-fight parlay. Elle, you had 2 out of the 3. You were right there. The Rosenstruck didn't go our way, but what's your 3-fight parlay for the pay-per-view? This is it.
So I'm taking my my best bet for my first leg, which is Joanna and Weili to go to the over. Then I'm going to take Kape over Butorin, and I'm going to take that in the under, actually. I think, man, Kape has knocked out Zizi. He knocked out Ode Osborne, who's been looking great. Butorin, he's been knocked out before. He's kind of on a skid right now. And if you look at the competition that Kape fought coming into the UFC, I know he's 2-2, but they did him no favors. His UFC debut was Pantoja, who's a savage, like one of the toughest guys in the division. And Butorin gets hit a lot. He doesn't have the volume to deal with Kape. I think Kape is going to finish him. And then for leg 3 of my parlay, I have Jack Della Maddalena. I almost stayed away from this fight because I do think it's a close matchup. Aviv is a phenomenal wrestler, but I think that Jack Maddalena has Della Maddalena, long last name. I think he does have the takedown defense. He has fantastic hips. He's really, really good at striking off those exchanges as well, just like we were talking about with Joanna. I do think he has the takedown defense to deal with the wrestling, and his boxing is phenomenal.
I love it. I'm kind of I think I might throw out something after you guys are done. I think I'm piecing up together a really good 3-fight parlay. I got something. But Ryan, take it away. What's your 3-fight parlay, my man?
First one, I'm going to stick with Glover in inside the distance with the submission. I already went over that. Next one, Andre Filio. I've been pretty big on him. His opponent Jake Matthews, he's had a lot of tough fights himself, especially the loss to Sean Brady. But I feel like he's bigger, and he's going to have that power that's really just going to devastate rounds. And I don't have him finishing, even though like usually you think the power you're going to knock him out. I just feel like he's going to put 2 devastating rounds on this guy and win that fight by a decision. We'll just call it the over. I have him winning. And then I got Brendan Allen. Now this fight is really interesting because Brendan Allen has kind of done this, but he's just got like 3 times the experience on Jacob Malone, Malcolm. And I have a feeling I'm going to be watching that fight like this. Like,
Yeah,
but
I
just think that him too, he's a little bit bigger. He's got a lot of tough opponents. I mean, it's like Sam Alvey, that Sam Alvey's not been winning, but I just feel the experience is going to take him through. So I got Glover, Andre Filio, Brendan Allen.
I like that as well, too. I'm not going to lie. And guys, you know this. I've been on Andre Filio for like more than anyone. Like me and Brendan, we actually talk a lot off air. And he was like, Dave, like Andre's this monster in the gym at Sanford. If he can just put it, on the mat. And like he had a short notice fight against Michel Pereira, who's now, a top 10 welterweight on this planet. And it was a great fight. So now he's won 2 in a row. He looks awesome. I'm just going to throw this out there. Sooner or later, and again, like I know I say this, I kind of beat this dead horse. You guys can talk about it more than I can. This is his 4th fight in 6 months. This is his 3rd fight in like 65 days. Like sooner or later, like is he on this amazing momentum, or does like your body's just like enough's enough? Like sometimes even me, like I'm a dad, I do this and this. Like some Tuesdays, I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I need a rest day, and I don't know if it's going to catch up to him in a late 3rd round war. Or, Andre's going to get a 1st round knockout. So we'll go there. I like that a lot. This is my 3-fight parlay. I think you guys, sometimes you guys went really pretty, which I love. And you guys went with different guys and unders and all that. I got Glover Teixeira, my plus 175 winning. I got Joanna at plus 145 winning. And I think probably all of our best bets. I love the over on Wei Lee and Joanna. I think that's like really simple, really easy. And I think that's going to hit. Like, I feel good about that. I'm going to have 3 pluses. I'm going to put that together. I bet you that's in the plus 800, 900 range. Glover winning, Joanna winning, over 2.5. Boom. Done.
Love it.
Checks in the
I just
mail.
got even more excited for this card, And man, I tell you what, too. I was looking at all the women's fights on this card. It's really a shame that they're on this fight with Joanna and Wei, because there's some savage women fights on this card that we're going to be seeing that I was looking at. And just that's the fight that everyone's focused on. Everyone better pay attention to the prelims, because it's going to be a fun card up and down.
It is like, Elle, you mentioned Cap. Like, I think he's a stud. I'm telling you, with Andre's on the card, Brendan Allen's on the card, Jack's on the. It's like there's so much. I like the big 3 is humongous, and like that they have me sold. They have me sold on Glover versus Yuri, and then they give us the Joanna Wei Lee rematch. It's just like it's a stack night. It's a great card. They went to Singapore. They wanted to make a statement, and they did. Hats off to the UFC. They do what they do. Mm-hmm. That's it. Elle, congratulations on everything that's happening with you. You're signing big deals. You're just you're rear naked choking people in a minute and a half. Just continued success. Ryan, you're changing rules in boxing and MMA.
Crazy, right?
You guys are crazy. You guys are awesome.
I was just talking to Dean. I think we're going to go out to one of their conventions and lobby. We were talking with it's crazy. I had no idea it was going to go that far.
That's so life. That's life. You just start something. You just kind of start nudging the soccer ball that way, and sooner or later you're going to get into the net. Guys, appreciate it. Betting Bananas, UFC 275. I think one of the best betting shows out there, period. And some good stuff on the horizon, I'll tell you that. All right, guys, talk to you soon. And let's win. Let's win again. All right, Ryan. Let's get that 3-5 parlay again.
Let's keep winning. Let's keep winning. This is an old hat. I need a new hat.